Hey yo. 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 Hey yo.
All right, for a minute there, I thought you lost it. Whoa.
Hey yo.
We're back, Tommy.
Finally, can you hear me all right?
Yeah, you sound good.
Good. All right. Testing. Let me know if it stops. Does it stop? Does it?
No, you're good. You sound refreshed, like a new man, like the kid should sound. You know.
All right. I was able to mute it with the headset microphone. Yeah, I even got a little head start on this thing.
That's what I like to hear. You know.
I normally have my little picture-in-picture, but my virtual camera running in OBS looked like it was cropping all weird. I don't know. So I'm just running it straight from my drawing camera. Y'all don't get to see my pretty face.
It's a heartbreaker, but I think we can power through it this week.
I hope so.
What's up, everybody in the chat? Good to have you here. Spread the word. We're going to be talking about a new campaign on Indiegogo right now. I know there's a lot of people streaming. Go over to some other streams. It's okay if you poach them for us. Tell them we're live. I tweeted this out. Retweet it. Spread the word. We're going to be talking to the man behind. I mean, this guy's. I've been seeing him in the chats on Twitter all the time. He's been promoting this book, gearing it up for a really long time. Seems like he's been working on it for a while. And here comes Mad Ruth with the kick-ass book, SOLTAC. Am I saying that right?
Yeah, you're. How's it going, Tommy? How's it going, Phil?
Going well.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on.
Putting out some kick-ass sci-fi stuff going on. Looks like a lot of action too.
Looks pretty fleshed out.
Yeah.
The book's pretty much finished. We finished lettering everything. We're just fine tuning the line art version, and my artist is working on coloring the last 20 pages. So I'm trying to go to the printer before the end of the year.
That's awesome. I mean, turnaround time and getting books into hands is important, and you've been around to know that. And I know you're an avid backer and consumer of comics and just stories in general. And looking at your backdrop, looks like you're really into Star Wars too. Yeah,
used to be.
Yeah, no, I hear you. But I was watching you on, I think it was Global Frequencies channel, and it sounded like you've been writing for a while. Why don't we talk about that and kind of like you're getting into your creative process, and then while we talk about this, Tommy's going to be drawing one of your kick-ass characters there.
Okay, cool. No, sounds good. So yeah, I've been a lifelong comic book fan basically since 1985. My first comic book was G.I. Joe number 50, and then someone gave me a copy of Miami Mice number 1, which I was a young kid, shouldn't have gotten. But anyways, so from there, I've been collecting comics ever since. Right, 85. I've got just like all comic book fans do. I got so many comics, it's ridiculous. But just like everyone else, it was steady until the early 2000s. The Walking Dead was one of the last books that I read all the way through from book 1 until it finished. I went from the 90s, from like walking out of the comic book store week after week with a fistful of books to just going down to like 3 or 4 copies by the late 2000s. And when I finished reading The Walking Dead, I think it was 2018, I was actually done. I said, that's it, I'm done with comics, and I was ready to walk away. But what ended up happening, which inspired me and lit the fire under me creativity to even consider this, was I spent 26 years in the military. A lot of people don't know that. I served 26 years, made it to the rank of warrant officer. I did 1 tour in Bosnia and 2 tours in Afghanistan.
Wow.
So going back to 2005, I always wanted to write when I retired. I'm a big bucket list kind of person for things I want to do with my life. So I originally wanted to retire and write science fiction novels. That was kind of the direction I wanted to go. So I've had various ideas rolling around in my head, SOLTAC being like the main idea. If there's anything I want to do creatively before I die, SOLTAC's it, right? So fast forwarding to 2018, when I said I'm done with comics, I went and saw The Last Jedi in theaters, and like everyone else, is sitting there with my bag of popcorn and my pop and a big smile on my face, getting to see Grandmaster Luke Skywalker in action, and I was just crushed. I'm not gonna lie, I was devastated by that movie. I went back to my car. I'm a non-smoker now, but I chain smoked probably half a pack of cigarettes trying to figure out what the hell that was that I just watched. I'm telling you, it ruined me. I couldn't even sleep that night. So I got on YouTube and I typed in, this is what, January 2018. I typed in The Last Jedi Sucks in YouTube, and then I found the High Council. And then from there, Geeks and Gamers, Comicsgate. So basically, I've been watching Comicsgate since 2018, learning about comics. From there, I went and picked up On Writing by Stephen King, Making Comics by Scott McCloud, How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. Like studying, okay, if I'm going to try to do this, what do I have to do? What are all the aspects involved with creating a comic book, as well as watching all the educational tutorial channels. Like a lot of people don't realize Ethan's channel started off as just comic artist pro secrets, literally what it is, how to make a comic book, right? So I watched all those old videos going back to like when the Barton brothers were first working on Kozor, and just sitting there and studying everybody, including your channel as well. Sorry, don't leave you and Brandon out. Studying everybody on how to make a comic book for a year and a half. And finally in 2020, I said, you know what, I'm going to do this. And I've been working on this book now that you're seeing since March of 2020, and it's almost done. So,
man, what a great origin story, first off.
So we got an autodidact on our hands.
Yeah.
You got some amazing art on this book. Like Tommy was saying, it just from visually, it looks like there's a story here. It's fleshed out. You've been putting it together for a while. Tell me about like your art team and how you hooked up with them, because I know when I first started trying to write comics before I was in CG, it was so hard to find motivated, reliable artists that are like really have a hunger to bring something to life. So how was that experience?
Yeah, actually, I kind of went through the same thing as well. So I knew before I began, I had to flesh out the main character designs. So I had 8 character designs that I knew, like they had to be cemented. They have to be consistent. They have to be drawn the same, colored the same, basically like a Bible, right? So I made an ash can. You don't need to full screen me, but I spent 8 months writing the script and designing these characters. So that's when COVID happened, So I had a family friend who's an engineer. He drew the first 8 original character sketches for me, and then from there I printed those out and I colored them in with pencil crayon, because I'm learning computers as I go. But from there, it's finding someone that was willing to do an 88-page graphic novel with me, and nobody wanted to commit that kind of time, right? People will do a cover, they'll do a couple sketches, but you want to do how big of a book? And people didn't take it seriously. So I looked at about 300 portfolios, mostly off of Facebook groups. I also looked at a lot of comics book artists, but as you know, everyone's busy with their own title, right? Like you're not going to come off of what you're doing to do my book, right? So I had to find an artist out there who had the time and, like you said, was hungry. And I have 300 portfolios. I narrowed it down, and Gonzalo Loyola, who's my artist, he was at the top of the list. And I eventually linked up with him, started chatting with him. He's in Chile. And we realized we had very same views, very same interests. We got along great. He told me I was the first conservative in comics he'd ever worked with, and he just started telling me all the nonsense he's dealt with his whole life as an artist. It's like, yeah, you can bounce that stuff off me. So we got along fantastic. Really interesting. Yeah.
Listen to this coincidence. I just had chili for dinner.
Oh.
I just told my wife it's getting chilly tomorrow, and she ran outside with a spoon.
Yeah, there's no coincidences. So
working with this new artist, sometimes you get that match, and you got to run with that. And this, everything from, you got your a good variety of pages on here. You got your action, does the big moments really well. You got your conversation scenes, and then the giant spaceship stuff, and got to have those shots. And this is really, really cool. Like, I love the how eclectic the artist is on this book.
And So I'm people don't realize what my role is, but I'm not only the writer, the creator, but I also do the layouts.
Oh
So
yeah,
like,
awesome.
I do have artistic ability. Like, there's books out there with my level of drawing, but like, see, like that page you're just showing, that's what I
Yeah.
gave my artist for a reference, right? I was like, this is what you got to do for
Now, is
that
this
page.
all learned post like trying to get into comics, or were you
Just
always
doing my
a
research
doodler?
on. Yeah, no, this is just me. Like, I've been artistic my whole life, right? So I mean, in the military, for example, I draw a lot of logos and murals and stuff on doors. So yeah, it's not that I'm not artistic. I just wanted to hire someone that could draw like pro level comic book art. I wanted my book to come out swinging. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the best way to do it too. I mean, you look at
Yeah.
guys like prolific comic writers like Alan Moore and Grant Morrison. Their first comics that were published by newspapers, they drew themselves, and I know those guys do lay out their books themselves, whether either they show their artists or they don't. There's like big story with like Dave Gibbons when they were working on the Watchmen and stuff. He went to go visit Alan Moore and he saw the layouts that he did for the Watchmen, and he's like, "Why didn't you show me these?" He's like, "Oh, it's just for me, like to get the story beats down and stuff. Like you have your own take on it. You're gonna do what you're gonna do." So yeah, and I've done that in the past as well. Done like layouts for, I think, the first Magic Cop. I did. I laid that book out for my brother. Just paneling, stuff like that.
But as a team, like if you work as a collaboration, like I'm not in any way a tyrant. It doesn't have to be my way. You have to, when you work as a collaboration, a group, you have to be flexible. You have to invite and encourage that insight and design and that passion. And if the people around you are passionate, you would have to welcome that, right? So Gonzalo loves the fact that I do the layouts. He tells me all the time, 50% of the work for him is reading someone's script, trying to figure out what the hell they meant by this, and then what the hell you're going to do with the page.
Shit, that's probably all the work.
Yeah. But by providing the layouts, you know what I mean? He takes it, he goes, okay, 9 panels, you're insane. This is ridiculous. I can do it in 6. And then whoop, 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 he whips up the sketch and I look at all the story elements in that page, thumbs up, and away he goes. So I don't stifle his creativity, right? Yeah.
This is great. I love this image, man.
Yeah.
What are you using this for? Is this just like a promo piece? Because this is really cool.
Yeah, that's just the promotional art. I think I sent you on Twitter the actual line art version with that same skull in it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me,
my artist put those two together. Yeah, there you go. That's the actual page it's from, and that gets near the end of the book. Yeah.
So what's this story about, and kind of how did you go about conceiving it?
Yeah, so again, as a huge Star Wars fan, not just Star Wars though, I mean Punisher, not just Punisher, sorry, Predator, Aliens. I mean, you go through everything 80s movies, right? RoboCop, you throw them all together. I'm a big fan of the hero's journey and science fiction in general, right? I like to get lost in my escapism. I want to be taken on a journey that I feel invested in, that takes me away from the world that I'm excited about, that feels like a roller coaster ride when I'm done, right? So that's what I envisioned this science fiction book being. So it started off with just imagining where humanity would be in 6,000 years from now, right? So knowing how humanity's slow to evolve, but we keep trucking along, I pictured we will have conquered the solar system at best. So we've got settler cities and bases and all the moons and planets all throughout the solar system, asteroids. We've managed to populate the whole solar system. We've also exploited all the valuable resources within 6,000 years in our solar system, as well as artificial intelligence. The singularity happened. That event happened. There was a 200-year war between us and the machines. However, they surrendered. They just stopped fighting us and surrendered, which is all explained in the book, because I believe, much like with us and the Neanderthals, when we came to North America, you know what I mean? We wiped them out, right? That artificial intelligence would do the same to us. So I needed a reason for why they don't kill us, as well as sort of like Jurassic Park with altering DNA and creating our own creatures and creating our own environments and different stuff like that. I figured humanity would be able to do all this in 6,000 years. So that's the overarching universe or sandbox, as well as there's a great galactic conspiracy looming over our existence, which explains why we haven't interacted with aliens and what's going on from a galactic perspective. So in any case, that's like the whole universe piece. And then narrowing it down, you need a story within a story, right? So I picture, life having no meaning as it does in most of the world, right? Like we take it for granted how much life means over here in North America, but having spent time in third world countries, like it's shocking the conditions that human beings live in. So life has very little meaning in my galaxy. It's ruthless, it's cruel, it's dirty, it's rugged. So you have Misha Atsu. She was in charge of the NLS project, which was we were trying to make near light speed ships to escape our solar system because we're running out of resources. But every time one of these ships leaves, catastrophe happens. The ship explodes, something goes wrong. So the corporation's blaming her for it. They call her a terrorist and a murderer, and they want her eliminated. So they go and get Dexter Barrow, and he's a bounty hunter for hire. He'll do anything for a buck. He's ruthless. He was a war hero during the war with the AI. So they hire him to track down and assassinate Misha Atsu. Yeah, that's him there as a bounty hunter. So that's the job he takes on. Yeah, and then he links up with his old companion, Giles, who's my orangutan. They're not friends anymore. Giles doesn't want anything to do with them because they've done some horrible stuff in the past. But money always motivates people, so he offers Giles a bit of money, and Giles says, fine, one more job. So they go and track down Misha Atsu, where she is in the solar system. And I mean, she's a neo samurai. So as tough as Dexter is, I mean, she's a freaking samurai. So needless to say, she lays him out. And then they figure out who each other is. She figures out he's the war hero who's famous, so she knows who he is by reputation. And they have a pleasant exchange, let's say. Then they start to realize the conspiracy that's going on, the plan that's been hatched, how they've both been used as pawns, and they obviously get very mad, and then they start seeking out some retribution. All that takes place in volume 1.
That's awesome.
And the AI. Yeah. Oh, it's a journey.
I love that the almost feels like evil corporation is pitting these people against each other. Very, cyberpunk style of theme there. This cover is awesome. Who did this cover?
Gonzalo did that as well as all 92 interior pages. Yeah.
That's beautiful. Super cool. We got some people in the chat. Devil Flyer's in the chat. What's up, Devil Flyer? Good to see you, brother. We got Greg also here. I haven't seen you in a while, man. Good to see you. NTM, we got Noah says, Phill, you should copy Tommy and not show your face.
I tried to tell him that he wouldn't listen. Phil's real hard-headed, guys.
It's past Noah's bedtime, It really is. But this is looking awesome. Let's see what else we got on the campaign page. This seems like we said, fleshed out, but just the start to something that's going to be a long-running series. Have you thought of that? Do you already know where it's going, or is this kind of like you're just jumping off point, getting your feet wet?
Volume 2, if I had to, I could write it tomorrow. It's basically 4 acts. I already know how much I could cram into that 88-page book. I've got more than enough content. It's a question of if I could fit it all in there. And in Volume 3, I have the rough idea in my head. But yeah, it's definitely visioned as 3 92-page graphic novels, 3 volumes. And I'm hoping this book pays for the next book, right? So that's...
Yeah, and this is the first time you're crowdfunding anything, right?
Yep. Yeah, brand new artist, brand new creator right out the gate, right? Coming out swinging.
Getting some knockout punches in. Now, what's going on here? This is a very shocking scene.
Yeah. So there's your villains right there. That's the AI horde. So that in the background is Dr. Hades Strife. He's the creator of the singularity. He's the original human being that did it. So much like the Bible. I mean, I read a lot of philosophy, history. I've read the Torah, the Quran. I do a lot of reading. But back in biblical days, human beings lived to be 300 years plus, right? Well, in the future, we figured out how to live 300 years. So what happens to the body is you don't die of old age. You just start to decompose and rot and fall apart. So Dr. Hades Vex, all that's left of him is his brain and his spinal column in a jar of liquid, right? He's about 500 years old. And then those are his 2 sons, his biological son from back in the day. And all that's left of him is a head, half a torso, and an arm. The rest is artificial. And then the first singularity he created, which is 0. So you've got I and 0. They are the brothers of Strife. And they are the AI horde. So
that's freaky, man.
That's super cool. Stuff and nightmares. Yeah.
Yeah. The look of this guy is awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, if you don't mind me asking, where are you from?
I'm originally from Toronto. I grew up in Toronto.
I knew it.
So Canada, yeah.
I can hear it in your voice.
Yeah. But no, I live out in New Brunswick now. I'm in Maine. And I was joking, this is the Shire. Like after the American Revolution, people don't know, like after American Revolution happened, anyone from basically that was loyal to the British, they moved up to where I lived, New Brunswick. So that's what this place is. I call it the Shire because we're Canada, but like, you know, we're isolated. We got Quebec to the north and Maine to our east. So nobody even knows we're freaking out here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just trees. Yeah.
No, this is super cool. Just like epic space stuff going on, and really into the world building. You know, an important thing is knowing your limitations when you're first starting something that seems so dense as this. You know, you're creating a new world. Like this is especially off planet in the future so far, and it seems like you have a lot fleshed out, which is all the heavy lifting that you have to do going forward here. Now, is this are there characters that maybe we haven't seen yet that you're excited about, or is this kind of like just a character piece on the two, the female character and your bounty hunter guy? I'm really curious about the big gorilla guy too. I imagine that is the reason he's there is the happenings of tampering with genetics.
Yep. So yeah, in this book, there's the 8 main characters. So you got Dexter, the bounty hunter, who ends up becoming a SOLTAC officer. He gets basically it's like 007. It gives him a license to kill to go to corporations. So everyone needs a co-pilot, right? You can't talk to anyone if you don't have a co-pilot in your ship, right? So Giles is his co-pilot and his friend. They used to work together as bounty hunters. So he's the one who gives him a ride around in the solar system. Giles the orangutan. And exactly as you said, yeah, he's been genetically modified. He can speak and he's got human hands. He doesn't really have orangutan hands so much. He's got a cybernetic brain.
What are these things here?
So they're little half ferret, half flying squirrel things. I call them Junk and Earl, and they talk in 3-word sentences. So everything they say is only 3 words, but they're still, you know, very intelligent. Yeah.
Remember that puppy thing in that movie House 2?
No, House 2?
Yeah, it was like this little puppy caterpillar thing. Yeah, anyway.
But yeah, I pictured them like they sit on his shoulder for the most part. They crawl around a little bit. When violence starts happening, they just lunge off his shoulders and then they just rip people apart right while he's blasting away with his pistols.
This is what Tommy was talking about here.
Yeah.
This is what you're talking about, Tommy?
Yeah.
That thing's really cute. So, were your military buds? Were comics pretty?
No, actually.
Them?
No, I got called a nerd a lot.
Really?
Nerd, you know, yeah. So I was the one always had comic books in my barracks box. People every now and then, hey, can I read this? Can I read that? So like when I was in Afghanistan in 2006, I think I had 4 volumes of The Walking Dead. Those got passed around as much as pornography magazines got passed around. You know, everyone, and I'm going around the shacks like, where's my The Walking Dead volume 2? Who had, you know, nerd, give me my freaking book. You know? So, yeah. Oh yeah, it's all good though. Yeah.
That's hilarious. So you got crazy animal characters, you got female samurai, brain in a jar. This guy, you know, he's got the. Now, is this an eye patch or is this some augmentation? Because he's giving me Snake Plissken vibes.
Yeah. So exactly, and he does very much. He's tailored after Snake as well, sort of in a way. A lot of my like I said, when I listed all those '80s movies, it's like throwing them all in a blender and hitting a button when you read this book.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's tied into the story. I don't want to give too much about that, but definitely in his eye patch, he's got little LEDs and stuff and lights, and he works with a little recon drone that he can see what the drone sees with that eye. So it's been augmented, even though his eyeball no longer exists. It does things for him for sure. Yeah.
Cool.
And
Now, what's that?
That crotch of his? That's like a solar panel. People are like, what's with the big blue plate in front of?
Yeah, I was going to be like, hey, so how did you decide on the huge cod piece?
Well, you know, it's a man thing, right? You got to have a bit of phallic emphasis, right? So yeah. No, it's a big giant solar panel there, and you know, it blocks his nuts and protects them at the same time, right? So
yeah, protects the goods. Now,
You got to see this guy powering up in the sun, bro. He's just like leaning back.
Are we gonna see? Is there a big event in his past where he loses his eye? Are we gonna see that down the line?
He said he didn't want to give that away, Phil.
That'll be volume 2. Yeah. Oh, there is. It's already thought out. Yep, it's in there. I've thought all these. Like, I'm a very OCD type person, and I'm very cyclical. So I made this book so it can work as a standalone book. I really don't want it to be a one and done, but it can be. If it's much like George Lucas when he made Star Wars. He didn't know if he was ever going to make Empire. He made it as a one and done movie, and it potentially could have been. It never would have gone anywhere from there. I very much make my graphic novels the same way. So.
Very cool. Yeah, great action here. This is really cool.
Yeah. And I drew all that.
And
like I said, the layouts. I drew all the poses and the sort of mixed martial arts and figuring out how.
Hey, pull up that layout. Show us the layout for this page. I'd like to see.
For sure. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, look like that.
Let's see that process.
Yeah. Coming up as soon as I get it.
Yeah, if you guys are just tuning in, talking to Mad Root about SOLTAC. Look at this. And as being the writer, you also do the layouts you were saying earlier. And there's, let me zoom out here so people could get a sense of that layout here.
Yeah, that's cool. He dressed it up quite a bit for you.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Gonzalo's a magician. Like, he's like, there's a reason I'm paying him to do the art. Like, you do not want a comic book that looks like this. You want a comic book that looks like that. You know what I mean?
But like you said, I mean, that really, I could see that helping him a lot of the story beats. And he obviously picked out the bigger moment to make the bigger kind of anchor panel, as I would call it, on this page with him lifting that character up above his head. Really cool.
And he's got comic book experience. Everyone on my team's got comic book experience. I'm the only novice, right? So Gonzalo's probably got 3 or 4 books under his watch. Shane's a flatter out of the Philippines. She's done lots and lots and lots of books, a couple in Comicsgate as well. Kurt Hathaway, he's the letterer for Black and White. I think Smokes the Fox.
Oh yeah.
And who else? Don Chin. I think he letters all Don Chin's books as well. But I mean, he's an Extreme Studios legend, and he's the letterer as well. So I found the most talented people I could that were willing to work with me.
So you got quite a bit sunk into this then, huh?
Oh yeah. I was going to make this book no matter what, which is why I had such a low funding goal of 500. And like, people like, are you crazy? You can't make this for that. No, I was committed to making this book no matter what. I'm going to do this just as a life accomplishment, right? So
it's awesome seeing your stuff come to life through another artist's hands, and it's like, wow, this is so cool. It's so fulfilling. And then after that, once you get it out into people's hands and hearing that feedback or just seeing it somewhere else at someone else's house through a picture on Twitter, that's like the next like awesomeness. Like, it's real. Yeah. It's so cool. We're creating stuff. And I know how it is, being a writer, having these stories and being excited about them. It's amazing to see other people get excited about it, so awesome. You're killing it on this. I'm glad to see you, because I've been seeing that ash can image for a while, like on Facebook and Twitter and stuff. And now it's here, and all these pages coming together. Super, super cool.
Thank you.
I did kind of like the motley crew of characters you have here, and having them start kind of disjointed and then coming together. You're still going to have that animosity between them, and I think that makes the story even more fun. You have a lot to play with there as a writer.
You want the readers to be invested in the characters. I mean, that the whole, I've assembled a team in this office, and all of a sudden there's 8 people sitting in a room. I've gathered you all together to make a team. That, that is so overborne and played. We want to feel invested in the characters. You want to feel a part of their life, feel a part of their journey, understand their relationship to each other, and eventually be invested in whether they live or die, right? So I very much did that, yeah, for sure.
Yes. We got General Piggy in the chat. What's up, General Piggy? Good to see you, brother. Greg says, Haven't been making the stream rounds in a while. Super busy preparing for the second launch of Gun Demon and launching my trading card game developing video games. Doing a lot, Greg. Awesome. Great to have you.
I've been chatting with Greg off and on Twitter too. So
yeah, that Gun Demon looked so cool. He had some awesome art on that. Just a really cool concept. Let's see. Let's go through the perks here. So you're offering the ash can as well as the book. Is that correct?
Yeah, so a lot of people, and I've received a lot of it because the shipping's $20 US, and a lot of people have walked away from my book because of that. Because I get it, it's $10. It's $10 in the States, but I have to pay that international. So for that extra $10, I threw the ash can in for free. That was my way of making up for the extra for shipping. So everyone who backs, whether it's one book or two books, you get the ash can. So that's why that featured tier is a good deal, because you get the color version, the line art version, and the ash can, all for $45 US plus $20 US for shipping. I mean, you can't.
So this second book is the Blood and Ink is just the line art version?
Yeah, with blood in there. Like that page I sent you as well. If you actually look into the details on that, the page I sent you on Twitter, you'll actually see red blood dripping out of his mouth, and he's all cut up with a bit of red blood. Like home in. Yeah,
so that's right. Yes, so this is from that line art version. Very cool.
Exactly. Yeah, and the whole book's like that.
Do you have an image? Do you have an image of the cover to that on this campaign page?
Yeah. So in my updates, people have hit me up for my updates. If you go into my updates for this, one of the ones was people kept saying they wanted a close up on that. So if you go into the updates for this campaign, it's in one of the.
Oh, look, you got some awesome page. We'll look at those in a second. Yeah, this is this going to be the Blood and Ink cover?
No, that's just I don't even know why I threw that in there. That's the color version, but in black and white. That's what I'm going to put in the back cover of the line art version. But you got to drop all those down, unfortunately. There it is. There you go. So there it is, minus the blood, because it's Indiegogo. I can't make that all bloody, but I do. If you go to my Twitter, you'll see that same cover. And he's got blood dripping down his arms, and everyone's got blood on their knuckles, and there's blood all over the floor, and blood on the baseball bats, and all that stuff. But Indiegogo, that would be struck, right? Yeah. Yeah, this image right here just looks totally like an 80s action flick, like Roadhouse, Big Trouble in Little China. Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a glimpse into the future of the second book. This is the incident that severs their friendship, and Giles says, "I've had enough of you," and then they go their own way for 40 years until Dexter hires them for this mission. Damn. So, in this future, you're saying that people could live for hundreds of years, body degrades. These guys don't see each other for 40 years. How much do they age visually in that time? And have you thought about that in like a world building aspect? I actually haven't really thought about them aging. That would be like way down the road, in my opinion. But like I said, the aging process is when the body starts to deteriorate. So even though I'd have to look into the ash can to how old they are, pretty much everyone's about middle aged right now, for the most part. So they're still young and spry enough. With old man strength, right? Now, what's this image here? Is this from the interiors? That's one of the interior panels, and just gives you an idea of how much is happening, right? You see her jumping in the background to get this one SOLTAC cop, and then she cuts her shield in half and then kicks her in the freaking face, all in that one. Yeah, great action. Really, very fluid stuff. Stuff going on there. And then there's some other, look at more pages here. Good. You're already good with updates and stuff. I think, I love updates as a backer, seeing progress. And the fact that you have so much of this done already, you have a lot to show off. So you can kind of like breadcrumb it out until fulfillment time. This is really cool. I would suggest too, even putting that Blood and Ink cover on the main area of the campaign and be like, we have this black and white edition, because people really dig the black and white stuff. I might move that over. I mean, I've got only 3 weeks remaining in the campaign, so I'm not even entirely sure if it's going to go in demand. I hope it does, but yeah. Sometimes Indiegogo denies you. I've seen it happen to a couple people where they intended to go in demand, and Indiegogo says, "Nope, you're done," and they've shut their campaign down.
Well, I think a lot of that is like that happened to John Malin, but that was just he forgot to opt into in demand. If you're funded totally, all you have to do, like you could do it right now. You could go in your dashboard and just click the opt to in demand check mark if you're funded, and you could just do it. It'll do it automatically. The thing that people miss out on is they try to wait to the last second to extend the campaign. So like if you only did 30 days first, and then it's the last day and you're going to do an extra 30 days, which you would type in 60 at that point. Like John tried to do that.
The window.
Yeah.
And then it gets cut off. Yeah.
They'll get cut off, but you can email them and they'll fix it. But it's just a pain in the ass to do that. But if you're planning on to extend it, just be aware, you have to type that in. But the opting in demand, you could, as long as you're funded, you could just it'll automatically do it if that's a check mark. Yeah.
Oh, that's good to know. I think I've already selected in demand, so I should be good, but I'll double check.
So I love this suit. It's sleek. I love the design of it. Is this Dexter?
Yep. So like I said, he started off as a bounty hunter. He gets hired to do the job, and he basically, it's rival corporations throughout the solar system. Each corporation has their own territory, and they don't want anything to do with other corporations, right? So very much that clique, garrisoned fortification mentality that we've seen occur all throughout human history. You see it in Japanese culture with the different daimyo lords. You've seen it in British history with what eventually became the UK, right, with the different clans, even with colonization. So very much all the corporations are separate in their own, and they're not very friendly to people coming into their space. However, SOLTAC is basically the solar tactical command. It's like a 007, or it's basically a license to go from corporation to corporation. You're law enforcement. If you're on a mission, they'll let you in, which is the only reason why Dexter takes on that cover with that armor. But even that's incorporated in the story of why he's wearing that specific gear that he's wearing. And that's kind of tailored off the gear I wore in Afghanistan. I wore some pretty up armored heavy plating and stuff to reinforce and stuff, because I was a frontline reconnaissance surveillance. So yeah, I've been blown up, shot at. I've been at the front pointy edge of the spear. A lot of fun.
I love this design. Just really cool, sleek, and
again, this is me dreaming this up, right? Like if you had the gear, you'd have night vision goggles built into your eye set, and you'd be able to look through and use the radars, and your communication device would be built into your helmet and all this stuff, right? So yeah, 15 years to dream all this stuff up. So. Yeah.
Oh, sure. All right, let's take a look at what Tommy's doing. What are you doing here, Tommy?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Tommy loves pushing the limits at these camera angles.
Yeah, that's cool.
Upshot. I dig it, man.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I like going for it though.
Yeah, that's sick, bro. Dig it.
But yeah, that's totally fitting a Dexter barrel. I mean, I picture him as the ultimate badass. Like,
yeah, I love the trench coat too, and he's got like the skulls on his shoulders.
That the Punisher homage or Spawn?
His nickname's a Merchant of Death. So like I said, he's a war hero during the AI war. Basically what he would do is he would enter the AI horde with EMPs and his team of marauders. And they would just bit fucking EMPs and blow up all these fucking AI hordes. So they would call him the Merchant of Death, because whenever he came around, he would just wipe out the AI. So that's why he's got the skulls as one of his symbols.
You gotta love that cod piece, man. Look at
that. Shit, I may have drawn it a little too big, bro. I don't know.
Nah, that's perfect.
I just want him to be able to power up, dude. I don't want him to be like a Tesla and have to wait all day to charge up. You know what I mean?
And that's what I mentioned. Two people have power armor. So even though we don't have superpower, like superhero powers per se, they have power armor and reinforced. And like Misha Atsu's blade, it's a laser sword, right? It would cut through a wall or cut through a car. And I mean, that energy has to come from somewhere. So it's all power armor with battery components and stuff like that. Energy weapons.
Yeah, that solar energy, man. They use that a lot. Like Superman, of course. I think Hawkman was powered by the sun as well.
Bro, we're powered by the sun.
What?
At least I am.
You need to cut back on those seed oils.
How about you don't get any sun for a couple of years and then come talk to me? You hardly hold that ass up after that.
Dude, I got some sun. I went to the beach in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
I wore a lot of sunblock though, but I didn't get sunburn. You know, that's what counts. I didn't get tanned either. Kind of mad about the SOLTAC though, guys.
Maybe don't do the sunblock next time.
Well, then I'll burn.
How?
The sun. The sun burns. Okay.
I thought you were like part Mexican. How the hell are you burning?
Did you have a chance to see my trailer by chance? I can promise you the music's copyright free.
No.
Yeah. That's pretty badass too. I had a friend of mine, Justin, he's a good personal friend of mine who threw that together for me. And then White Bat Audio out of Vancouver is the sound, and he's on YouTube, offers free music to everybody. Just all he wants is his name credited.
Let's see if this works. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Makes me want to watch Knight Rider.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Great music. Totally awesome. Carpenter feels. On Carpenter, you know.
I'm just inspired by everything.
Throwback feelings. No, this is
inspired by the '80s, inspired by Comicsgate. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh no, I totally see it. '80s is so rich with awesome stories, just aesthetics, and I feel like it's been back for a while. I think it's in pop culture again. I don't know if it's.
I think what it was, it was that the beginning of digital when it still had a lot of analog to it,
Yeah.
As far as the approach, like an analog approach to the digital. Now, I think I mentioned it on a stream we did before, but Rick Beato, he's a music guy on YouTube, and he's a producer too, or was a producer. I think he retired from that. And he was talking about how people come in now, and when they're singing, they're trying to sing the auto tune, like that little blip that auto tunes make. How crazy is that, dude?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I very much get the feel that if you go back to like the 60s and the 70s.
It's so ingrained.
Like you go back in time, like that's pre-digital. People actually had to use imagination to write. They had to use imagination to tell a story, right? It wasn't so much the costumes and the set design. It's how they could get the story across verbally or artistically, right? And I think once we got digital and CGI, we started getting lazy, right? Lazy writing, lazy effects. You just throw in these computer-generated images, lazy acting. And I said, like you said, even lazy music. You don't even need talented musicians anymore. You just auto-tune their voice and they sound good, right? I think
there's a poster documentary on YouTube that's worth watching about how posters all went to shit because it's all Photoshop now.
No.
Like, who wouldn't want a Drew Struzan poster,
Yeah.
Right.
What are these dweebs smoking out there?
Amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, I set out to make the best book I could possibly make. You know what I mean? That was my goal.
Well,
so I can't wait for people to read it and tell me whether it's good or not. I'm excited for that feedback.
I am almost done. I'm gonna go scan and then.
Oh, that's so cool.
Tell us a cool army story or military. What were you again?
Reconnaissance surveillance. So, boy, I don't know. You mean like combat action or? So I can tell you about like special forces. So like I worked with the U.S. Army Green Berets, and I know there's a lot of stuff I can't talk about that's top secret. But those are the coolest those were the coolest dudes in the world. Like they kept us alive in Afghanistan in 2006.
Are they really like all that, or is that just hype?
They are the most badass people on the planet. So there's this hill that they took from the Taliban. There's like 200 Taliban had this hill, and they took it by themselves, but they needed to hold it. So us in our labs, we basically acted as their defense. So what they would do every this is how crazy these guys are. They would wake up, they would walk into the CP in their shower flip flops and their towel, and they'd get on the comm set, the SATCOM, and they would declare themselves in a TIC, meaning troops in combat, right? So that the aircraft would come on station, because it takes 20 minutes to get, whether it's, what do I have on station today? Whether it's a B-2 bomber, whether it's a Spectre Cu-130 gunship, whether it's, Cobras or Apaches, what do I got, and how long is it going to be on station? 20 minutes. Cool. Then they take their shower sandals and they go off and go have their shower, brush their teeth, because it's going to take 20 minutes for the planes to get there. Then they suit up with all their gear.
So there's like, they're so relaxed about getting geared up. It's just like.
They get on the ATV, slap the sniper rifle over, and then they would drive towards the Taliban and instigate a fight. And as soon as the tick happens, boom, the aircraft are on station, and they're just there. Yeah, drop bombs here, drop bombs here, drop bombs here. That's what I got to do with them, was just go around blasting villages and doing stuff. I can't get too much details of their tactics and stuff, but just what a great time in my life.
Is there desensitization training, like to prepare people to like not blink, so to speak?
Yes, definitely. The best asset I always encourage people, and that's part of samurai philosophy as well, is to act as if you're already dead. Embrace the fact that you've already died. You no longer exist. You need to be emotionally numb. You cannot be emotionally invested in any of this. Find a way to take those emotions, bottle them up in a jar, and put them away until you get back home, because it interrupts your drills. The drills and the training is what drives you. You must be a machine, and you must be emotionless, because that is the key to survival. Absolutely. Yes. And it works, because I blacked out a lot of the most horrific shit I've seen. People will bring it up to me and I'll remember it, or I'll get flashbacks. For the most part, though, I don't remember a lot of the pretty horrific stuff I've seen.
Do the movies mess with you, seeing like how they treat gore and stuff?
Everyone who's dated me says you're really messed up. So you know how I sleep like a baby? I'll put a war movie on, because literally, like the Panjwai Valley, we had 200 Taliban in 2006. And for about 2.5 weeks, we did nothing but drop the shit out of bombs at them, blast away at them with our labs, mortar the hell out of them. And I've just watched me just beat the shit out of them for 2.5 weeks. And sorry about all my swearing, until the back of the horseshoe opened up. And we said, all right, whoever's left alive, get out of here, because we're sweeping through. And then we just had to make sure there's no booby traps and stuff like that. But getting to what I'm saying is, I sleep best when I throw a war movie on. There's nothing better than hearing bum, 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 bum. Oh yeah, then I just go to sleep and I'm nice and calm. Yeah.
Wow. That's why I heard like like you were talking about, Tommy, like the reaction or adrenaline training, where you need to stay calm in those situations when your adrenaline is spiked way up, and tactics of like just practicing that with
even in a fight
crazy cold shower, and breathing techniques. While that over here, there's tactical, like civilian tactical training and stuff like that, but I couldn't imagine, like, even just being, like you said, in just a fight or whatever, because your adrenaline's going crazy, and not getting emotional in those instances. I couldn't imagine.
Even works in a bar fight. Yeah, someone wants to get in a bar fight with you and they're all wound up, just stay calm and keep the breathing low. Let this person
they'll wear out quick, right?
Go ahead, keep working yourself up, buddy. Keep bouncing around, because he's just burning all his energy. And if you keep that guy doing it for 2 minutes, you just push him around. He's exhausted. Yep. He's drained. Like you said, he's wasted on adrenaline. And as long as you can keep your breathing down and your energy down, you can go forever. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I've had 36-hour missions. I had one incident where a Nimrod aircraft flew over my head on fire with its engines on fire, and then it crashed into Panjwai Valley. And for 36 hours, I had to fend off like 2,000 Afghanis trying to raid the plane crash site, trying to steal shit. So 36 hours up just trying to fend off 2,000 people. I've got all kinds of crazy stories. Yeah. I've been blown up in IEDs. Oh, yeah. I've had bullets come like this close to my head. Green tracers. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good times. I love it. Yeah, I'm not at all scared by my military service. Yeah, I wish I could. I wish I was younger. I'm hitting 50, so I had to get out. Right, I had an issue with my heart about a year ago. Not. So here's me being dumb me. Right, I smoked cigarettes for 30 years. I decided before I did the last PT test, I was chain smoking, no sleep, drinking coffee, in my 50s. So I decide to do the hump with the 30 pounds. Then after that, I go and I smoke a cigarette. Then I do the kit bag drag. The sandbag toss, and then the heart just starts going in my chest, and I'm like, okay, I gotta bail. And everyone's like, why you gotta bail, man? You got 25 more minutes. You only got one more exercise. Like, no, man, my heart's being weird. But needless to say, after that, it was like, okay, it's time to retire. I'm approaching 50. It's like maybe stop smoking cigarettes and drinking so much.
Yeah, that'll do you in.
Yeah.
Now you're making comics, man. Now you're bringing the story to life. This stuff looks awesome. It's awesome talking to you about it too, seeing kind of like your take on the creative process. And I love seeing those layouts. I would say if you get a chance, if you could put some of those layouts in the back of the book to compare them to some of the bigger kind of moment pages, just to show that, because me as a consumer, I like looking at that stuff. I know a lot of people do too.
Definitely, just to show how involved I am with my work, because people just assume you're just a writer. Oh, okay, you just hired a bunch of people to do this for you. They don't fully realize that these are my designs, my characters, my colors, my layouts, my story, my concept. So yeah, no, I get that.
Yeah, that's why I love talking to creators too, to see kind of their involvement and where do they put other duties on to other people. This stuff is so much of a collaborative effort, unless you're just doing everything yourself, and to see those differences from your layout to the artist and see where things have moved around and how embellished some moments are, it's really, really cool to see. Let's see here. Craig says psychopaths are the best soldiers.
To some degree. I don't mean to go all mushy and stuff, but I just did a lot of good too overseas. Like in Bosnia, I did a lot to help. I mean, I dealt with the mob mostly there, illegal crime and stuff. So teaching their civilian police and their military how to be professional and stuff. Afghanistan, I stopped a lot of unnecessary killing of the wrong people for the most part, as well as I'd had convoys of like 300 people under my command, and I drove people safely around while finding the bombs, finding the Taliban. One time I had a general, I keep telling fucking war stories, I'll do this all day, but minding my own business.
That's what I want to hear right here.
A general back in CAF, he sends a Chinook helicopter. He's like, they want you back in CAF because I knew all the AO, I knew all the bad guys, the area of operations. I knew what the Taliban were up to. So he wanted me back for his next major operation just to pick my brain. They sent the Chinook helicopter just to pick me up. And at the time I was like a master corporal, which is basically a sergeant in our army. And my officer in command, he comes up to me all in a huff and a puff. And I'm like, what the hell's this guy's problem? He's like, I came back from a meeting with the generals, gets off the helicopter, but they didn't want to hear what I had to say. All they kept talking about was you and all the good things that you're doing. So I guess what I'm trying to say is keep up the good work. And he goes storming off. I'm like, man.
Yeah, it sounds like Sergeant Slaughter.
Yeah, this is the kind of stuff I dealt with. It kind of cool. I had 3 vehicles and I got to just do whatever I wanted my second tour. So it was great.
That's awesome. Wow, look at this. This is great.
Yeah, that's Dexter, 100%. That's him. Yeah.
Oh, what a badass. Yeah, this is kick-ass Tommy, and this definitely lives up to the book.
I'm trying to rip off Sylvester a little bit with those
the lines,
hash mark hatching and stuff in the folds. The way he does that.
Yeah, the new Batman stuff is really scratchy.
Dude,
yeah, this is cool.
I love that shit.
Yeah, you could just color this straight from pencils, man. That looks great. That's so cool.
I'll DM it to our boy here, so he can use it and do whatever he wants to with it.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, this is great, guys. If you are looking to grab a new book, support a book that's basically almost already finished. Is that right?
Yeah, 20 pages to color. I'm trying to print everything either December or January. I think it's going to print in January, and I'm going to fulfill by March. So literally, you back it now, you'll have my book in, 5 or 6 months.
That's amazing. Yeah. Get on it, guys. It's at 52 backers right now. Spread the word, too. If you can't back tonight, then follow the campaign. Hit this little here heart button. Click that follow. You'll get notified when he updates his campaign, which looks like he's updating regularly with some awesome content as well. And share it out. Spreading the word really helps these awesome projects. If you guys like sci-fi, if you like 80s badass action, John Carpenter stuff, this looks like the next big thing in that genre. This is awesome, fleshed out, great art, and just space badassery. Look, we got Shelby Robertson in the chat. What's that? He says, D's out for Tommy. Great background, Philandro. Yeah, he likes my my stream background here. It's an ode to him.
Yeah, I was going to say a couple cuties.
Great to see you, Shelby. Were you going to say that?
Yeah.
There's one. There's Shelby in the background and then back there. Yeah, we like to have fun around here. But before we take off, anything else you'd like to tell the people in the chat out here? I know there's a lot of people streaming right now, but we're going to get more people watching, throughout the week and over the weekend as well.
Tell them to go back.
I've been around Comicsgate since 2018, and I've been having such a blast. I've been having such a good time picking up everyone's books. I'll even shout out. I've got Lost Pages 1 and 2 here. I got the original.
Hell yeah!
Absolutely love Lost Pages. I can't wait for Lost Pages 3. I know you're launching that soon. I love Silhouette. I love Masquerade. I like El Dorado, the new character, and the fact that the three of them are brown. I don't want to give your spoilers away, but I'm right into that right now. I can't wait to finish Lost Pages 2. I'm right into it. But it's awesome. Great stuff.
Thank you. Yeah, guys, check out his book. The link is in the description, and as well as the link to the Lost Pages 3 sign up. And Tommy, you got a book out on the scene as well.
Yeah. Graveyard Shift Omega Storm. This is over 140 pages. It's a whopper. A lot of action. Little Tarantino type dialogue going on. A little Reservoir Dogs type slap them around, try to interrogate them, and then of course badass superhero action. It's going to be the most talked about book once people get it in their hands. And everybody that didn't back it's going to be crying their eyes out. Like alligator tears, bro. You think I'm joking.
Like ugly crying.
Yeah, ugly crying. But I think they're all going to come through here in this last couple weeks.
Yeah, jump on everybody. If you haven't grabbed your copy, do back it. Tommy's art is insane on this. I love these pages that were posted on here. Jacked, muscle-bound freaks and hot babes with booty shots. So back Omega Storm, sign up for the Lost Pages 3, which is just started the launch for the sign up. And we're working on this hard. And then, of course, go grab some SOLTAC, everybody. Grab it now. Grab it quick. Shelby's still. It's great to see Shelby here. He says, "That's when I still had a jawline." There's this picture in the background here. He says, "Why does Phill name all his characters after Berlin songs?" Interesting.
Shelby's got to get into mewing. He's got to go on Amazon, and there's this device you can get, and you just bite down on it over and over, and it'll get your jaw like real tough, like mine. I would show you, but anyway. Gregory, do you follow me on Twitter?
Yeah, follow Tommy D, a comic guy on Twitter. Follow him.
Tommy the comic guy. Tommy D, a comic guy. Listen to him.
It says right there, Tommy D, a comic guy.
It's Tommy the comic guy. Dude, I got to get you hooked on phonics, bro. What is going on?
Yeah, that's in trouble. But thanks for coming out, guys. Yo, Mad Ruth, thanks for coming on. Spread the word about this. I'm going to be tweeting this out and get on as many shows as you can to promote this bad boy, brother.
Thank you for this opportunity, Phil. Thank you for that drawing, Tommy. That's fantastic.
You're welcome.
That's awesome.
Kick ass.
That is kick
We'll be streaming tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern on this channel for the Diaz Brothers show, and then I'll be on Bancroft's at 9 Eastern, I believe. He's going to do a deep dive on Lost Pages 2. We'll be talking about some stuff over there. Go find another stream and follow these guys everywhere they are, and we will catch you on the flip flop, everybody. You guys have a good one.
Later.
Peace out.